In this video we're going to build a function in Python so that we can use it to get inputs from a user, which will be a string, and we're also going to check that it's actually not just numbers, and we're going to check that it's got more than one character or one or more characters in it, so they can't just have hit enter for nothing. So the first thing I do is type def for define, and I'm actually just going to call this isGood. So isGood, and I'm going to accept the argument of the question. So that is my function, and the very first thing that I'm going to do in here is I'm going to define isValid, which is a boolean, and I'm actually going to say at the moment that it's false. Then I'm going to go in and say while isValid equals equals, which means I'm testing that, is false. Then I'm going to do the following things. Now, somewhat counterintuitively, the very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to turn invalid to true, because I'm actually going to assume that this thing is going to work. And when it doesn't work, or when something happens to make it fail, then I'm going to swap it over to something else. So isValid is true to start with. Then I'm going to get name equals input, and I'm going to ask the value of whatever question was handed to us as an argument. So you see how those two things there match up? So they give us that text that we're going to ask in the question. Now that we've got it, we're going to run some tests and just make sure that it is all good. So if len brackets name, so they've given us name, and I'm going to check it, and I'm going to say if it is less than, is that what I want to know? Less than 1, yep. Then I'm going to just fail them, and it'll just ask them the question again. So then I just say isValid equals false. So now it's in a false state, and this loop will keep running. All right, now what else do I want to know? If, and I actually want to know, is it numeric? So if name dot is numeric, yep. So if it is numeric, I think that will just work. Yep. Then we're also going to say false. Now, what did I do wrong there? Okay, and I'll just borrow that from there. Now, if isValid equals true, then I'm going to return name. There you go. So they will get whatever name was given back to them, provided it hasn't failed any of the tests. All right, well, I'm just going to run that and see if, nope, nothing came up so far. Okay, now, username equals, and I just call the name of the function, isGood, with the question, what is your name? So I'm handing it the question, and then it'll run the subroutine. Okay, let's see if it works. So what is your name? I'm just going to enter nothing. Great. So this obviously failed the test of having too few letters. Okay, my name is 123. Okay, still fails the test. My name is Mark, and it passes. So I could put some error messages in here to put on the screen. I could say too short. I could say cannot only contain numbers under here. I could pad this out a bit so this will work, but right now, anytime we want to get a string that follows rules, we have a template that we can use for that in the form of this function.